We'll go right into questions for you, Coach. We're going to start with David Lake from 24/7. David?
Hey, Coach, wanted to ask you just a big picture talent acquisition at quarterback question. I know when you were hired here, you made it clear that that was one of the areas you wanted to, fix or clean up, the quarterback room. And seems like you've had success with whether it's through the transfer portal or recruiting, with adding guys that have improved that trajectory. And I'm just curious, like, what have you learned about what it takes to recruit that position? Because I would assume, being a defensive guy, you never really were involved with recruiting quarterbacks in the past. And just in general, what do you value most in your quarterback recruits or transfers?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously I do, as you mentioned, I guess what was it, January of 19, we sort of made that a huge priority of our program that we had to recruit quarterbacks that were capable of leading Miami where we think Miami needs to go. And when you talk about the traits, I mean, you've got to be able to not just do it on the field, but be a guy that, can handle the job 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. It is that type of job. It's very similar to being a pro quarterback, because what it means to be the starting quarterback in the city for this program and all the great ones we've had here in the past. Everyone in the locker room has to have the complete trust and faith in what you can do. And really, I think the guys we've added, as you mentioned, whether transfers like Derek, the guys we have on our campus right now, that are going through spring practice that are very exciting, and every guy that we continue to add, we feel really good that they meet that standard. Quarterback recruiting is a little bit unique because, it is usually a one guy per class situation. But what we want to do is, like we do with every position, we want to create great competition. We want guys that want to come in and challenge the guys we have on our roster so that we every year know that we're playing with the best possible player we can. And then, then recruiting in general just comes down to, like, at all positions, still comes down to relationships, comes down to, being who you say you are. And probably the best thing is the, how, the culture you set inside your locker room, because ultimately the players, if you're recruiting on one thing and inside your locker room, inside your program, it's something different, eventually that'll get out. So I think, I think we're starting to see like-minded people want to come play with like-minded people at quarterback position or anywhere else.
Just a quick follow-up. Do you believe in recruiting momentum, and why or why not? And then, do you think landing a high caliber quarterback helps generate momentum, especially if that quarterback is a willing participant in helping recruit other guys?
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, great players want to play with great players, and certainly everybody knows that when Miami has a great quarterback, Miami competes for championships. That's just been true historically. Momentum, I mean, that's we can get a whole conversation about what momentum really means, but we also know that really is signing day is what matters. And there's some people that sometimes do some things to create fake momentum in recruiting. It's what happens when the facts just come in, and that's really what matters. And then the most important thing that matters is how you develop them when they show up. So,
Coach, we've got David Furones from the Sun Sentinel. David.
Hey, Manny, Pro Day is coming up for your guys in the NFL draft. I wanted to ask just what you want to see from each one of your guys that'll be going through drills on Monday, and especially I imagine Greg Rousseau is coming back to campus to participate as well, right?
Yeah, Greg will be here. Obviously because we had so many guys come back, it'll probably be the smallest Pro Day we've ever had. But one, I'll just be excited to see him again because of our COVID protocols. We've been sort of barriered in here into the HECT. But it'll be great to see them. And really all you want to see them do is you want to see them compete. I mean, these guys, we athletically, they're all off the charts anyway. They all put great film. They all did great things when they were here at the University of Miami, and you want them to cement that with a great Pro Day that really leaves no doubt. I know the personalities and who they are as people, they would be an asset to any NFL franchise. And it just takes the right fit, and that's really what you want all of your players to find. You just want them to find the right fit at the next level.
And
Is there really a sense of greater importance for the pro day this year, given that obviously the combine in its traditional form is not happening this year?
Yeah, I mean, talking to some people that work in the NFL, they're dealing with, what we're dealing with in recruiting, going through a year-long dead period. This is uncharted territory for them as well. No combine, no in-site visits. Even the pro day is limited to only 3 people from each franchise can attend the pro day. So they're flying blind in a lot of ways, like we're flying blind. And it's just, it's everybody's got to adapt, and it is what it is.
got a couple more for you, Coach. We're going to go to Manny Navarro with The Athletic.
Hey, Manny, you mentioned, I think, before camp started that, you were going to try to get looks at different looks for different guys at different spots. I'm just curious, guys like Amari Carter, who said he put on 10 pounds, is he lining up anywhere where we haven't seen him before? Are there other guys that you've kind of experimented with that you could share with us?
So this morning was practice 6, and tomorrow's our first scrimmage. Mm-hmm. So really we wanted to kind of get through the first scrimmage. I mean, we've gotten to this point, let everybody go play at any position. And then I think over the last 3 weeks of spring practice, I think we might have the chance to move some people around and see what people can do in different spots. So that's something that we'll evaluate. But we just want to let everybody just have, scrimmage day, just see if they can, get confidence in terms of just the basics of football.
Gotcha. And the other one, the other follow-up was just with recruiting. I think you've mentioned this in the past. You mentioned like guys like James Williams, Tyler Van Dyke, to have maybe that clubhouse leader in the recruiting class, just the importance of getting that. Do you feel like that's a big deal in recruiting?
Yes, I do think that there are times when you have you can have a certain personality that really draws and attracts others to a class. Because again, it's not just sometimes how talented they are, it's just who they are, and so those are things that kind of happen organically, through a recruiting cycle. It's been a little bit different this year because normally a lot of the kids, they get to see each other, on unofficial visits or whatever. So again, like coach to player contact, even recruit to recruit contact has been more digitally than it's been in a normal year. Some guys know each other from 7-on-7s and some camp circuits, but it's just not been the same.
Coach, we got David Wilson from the Miami Herald. David?
Hey, Manny, I actually want to ask, do you guys I don't know if you could share any of this, but as a coaching staff or athletic department, do you guys have any kind of like vaccine policy? Not like if you guys are mandating it, but just like, are you guys collectively like looking to get vaccinated? And like, is there anything, or is it just kind of an individual effort, coach by coach, player by player, staffer by staffer?
Well, we're following the university policy. So our athletic department policy would be the university policy. And to be honest, the university policy is set by the state's policy, right? Because it's a state that's got the vaccine. So where the states are doling out the vaccines and the way that they're being released to the general public, we can't jump in, so we're in essence, our policy is a state of Florida policy, right, wrong, or indifferent. So what we're hoping is that as it continues to, that age limit feels like it's dropping down, that we'll be able to get, more and more people with the vaccinated and get past this.
And then you mentioned scrimmage tomorrow. I know you guys have so much back from last year that you kind of know what a lot of these guys can do, but are there certain guys that you're kind of excited to see what they look like in game action, either because they maybe changed a lot over the offseason or even some of these freshmen who you just haven't seen and sort of like a real live type situation? Yeah,
for certain. I mean, to your point, I think, there are so many guys, older guys back that we've seen in games. They're all getting better, but you have an idea of what they can do. But really, the guys I'm excited to watch are some of the younger guys, not just the midgers, but you've heard me mention before the class that's finishing their second year on campus that missed out on a spring, missed out on a summer, and just let those guys get out there and play and see what they can do. I think that's going to be a big key to our team. Those guys stepping up and taking some roles.
Coach, last one for you, Chris Stock from Inside the U. Chris?
Yeah, I was curious, the running game from both sides, if you could assess it, how the running backs are doing, and then also, defensively, how you guys are doing against the run.
Well, we'll find out a different step of that tomorrow when it's a full tackle scrimmage. We've done some live tackling, but it's just not the same as it is when it's a scrimmage day. And to your point, it's been a big point of emphasis, to stop the run better and to run the ball better. So of course in spring practice, it's a 0-sum game. So someone's going to be pissed on after every play, but that'll be a battle of will, so I think it's too early right now, Chris, to say we've accomplished this or whatever, but we're certainly working hard on both sides of the ball to improve where we were.
Coach, thanks for spending a few minutes with us today. We'll be talking to you soon.
Okay. See y'all.
Thank
Have a
you.
good weekend.